Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. Another day, another drama channel drama, and today we're going to be talking about the drama between Nick Snider, Dustin Dailey, and True Sleuth. If you have not seen my previous video titled Nick Snider Strikes Out and James Charles Cheats, I will link that in a card up over here as well as down in the description and down below, so definitely make sure you go check that out as well. Alright, let's go ahead and jump on into the drama. Now, when I tell you that this drama is something out of nothing, that is an understatement because it is just a little ridiculous. But this all took place down on Twitter the other day when Nick Snider tweeted out the following. Nick tweeted out, "I was almost tricked into clicking the wrong channel," and then shared a screenshot of T-Sesh's channel as well as a screenshot of Truth Sleuth's channel. Max Bose then replied to Nick's tweet and said, "The fact that you keep bringing her up while she's minding her own business is such a low blow, even for you. You know you could use your platform at the moment to speak up against an actual, and this is what you choose to do? Also, this is Allie's versus Truth Sleuth's channel, the Reach Mate." And then Max Bose included two screenshots of the channels, the first one here being Truth Sleuth's channel, followed by Sesh's channel. And as we put them side by side, you can see that yes, they are similar, but the images from Truth Sleuth's channel are from 11 months ago, and the images from Sesh's channel are from 10 months ago. And if you're unaware what Max Bose is talking about speaking up against someone, that is the Davi Vanity and Jeffree Star situation that's going on. I know that Nick has stated in the past that he absolutely hates it when people tell him and demand what he needs to talk about on his channel, so the more that people bring it up and start to demand it from him, the more likely that he's not even going to talk about it. Max Bose then quote tweeted Nick's tweet and said, "Imagine being wrong about who was first. Love them both, but who cares? Instead of using your platform to raise awareness about an actual this time." And what Max Bose is referring to is the fact that a lot of the major drama channels covered the James Charles situation when he was getting called out for behavior, but nobody is really talking about Jeffree Star. Nick then quote tweeted Max Bose's tweet and said, "There is no reach at all except for you trying to think you've done something with this response. My tweet was nothing more than stating I almost clicked the wrong channel. The thumbnails including the font are 99% identical. The reach is indeed extreme even for you." He then followed that up with a reply that said, "And by the way, for everyone, this response is just shade. I have no issue with Max Bose." Now, I don't know. I mean, Nick has done some shady tweets in the past, so this could definitely be a passive-aggressive attack towards True Sleuth, or everybody could just be reading into it a little too much. Nick then quote tweeted Max Bose's tweet and said, "My tweet didn't even say who did it first. I just tried to say I almost clicked the wrong channel. You seem to be looking for tits on an ant." Nick, we are still waiting for that Tits on an Ant merchandise. When is that gonna come out? Now this is when Dustin Dailey jumps into the conversation and things get a little heated. And Dustin then replies to Nick's tweet and says, "Imitation is the most sincere form of flattery." Max Bose then replies to Dustin and says, "Of course you're, as Nick's lapdog, fully agree with this without looking things up for yourself either. Allie did it before Sesh. Maybe use your platform to speak up against an actual this time instead of being bothered by what Allie does." And I'm not even going to get into the argument about the whole lapdog comment because we've already discussed that in the past. Dustin then quote tweets Max Bose and says, "Both Allie as well as Ashley have copied my titles and thumbnails. Who the even are you coming at me like this? Sit yo down somewhere." Max Bose then replies to Dustin and says, "Does it even matter who I am? I disagree with you both constantly shading Allie while she's minding her own business. The fact that you feel I can't come for you like that speaks volumes on your character. You're not above anyone because of your amount of followers." And I can agree with Max Bose here. We all know that Dustin, Nick, and Allie all have a past together, and they go back and forth every once in a while. But at this point, I haven't really seen Allie do too much on Twitter as far as shady tweets and stuff like that, so I can understand why Max Bose is like, okay, you should probably leave Allie out of the conversation because she hasn't even been doing anything. Max Bose then continued on to say, "Now sit your down somewhere because you're too far up Nick's. Maybe that will help you." Ooh, okay, Max Bose getting a little shady here. Dustin then replied saying, "Perhaps learn the subject matter you speak on before you speak, that'd help a lot. I don't give a who you are, to be completely honest, LMAO. Max Bose then replied to Dustin and said, "Don't be fooled into thinking I'm not educated on the matter just because I didn't see your video. I see you publicly shading somebody who is publicly minding her own business. That's what counts, and I wish you would just stop doing. If you don't give a who I am, don't ask it." Now, I don't think that Dustin's reply was actually that shady because he was just saying that imitation is the most sincere form of flattery, which is something that people say all the time. so I don't really think that his tweet was that shady, although I believe that Nick's could be. Dustin then replied saying, "Okay, moral police, where were you when she was throwing shade the other day and it went unchecked?" Now, when I read this tweet, I honestly have no idea what he's talking about because I went back and I looked and I couldn't find anything shady that Allie was saying on Twitter, but there could have been a subtweet or something that I missed. Saya then jumps in and says, "I love you, but @MaxBose is my friend. Nick didn't have to post that tweet. If you guys want to call out Allie or anyone else for copying, you or others just do that. Nick's tweet was shady and unnecessary. It just seemed like you guys were dumping on Allie." She followed that up by saying, "Yeah, she came hard in this situation, but I think it's just frustration. Max, this didn't have anything to do with Jeffrey, and that part could have been left out in your response to Dustin. He's made a video addressing why he hasn't talked about this yet." And I can agree with Sai here that the whole thing is just absolutely unnecessary, and as far as MaxBose bringing up Jeffree Star, that had nothing to do with the conversation, so again, that was also not necessary. MaxBose then replied saying, "Thanks for letting me know, I appreciate that. I wasn't aware he made a video about that and shouldn't have said that to Dustin. Still stands for Nick though." Dustin then replied saying, "That's the problem, people comment on things they clearly know nothing about. I'm not sorry." MaxBose then replied saying, "Don't you see that's exactly what you're doing though? Every time Nick tweets something shady about Allie, you're the first to jump in on there and comment. In this instance, you didn't even care to look up more than 2 videos he posted. The pot calling the cattle black." I'm assuming she meant kettle there. I mean, we all make mistakes when we're typing on Twitter. And I can see where MaxBose is coming from when she's saying this, because Nick and Dustin are usually one of the first people to respond to each other's tweets, but when you're best friends, that's usually what happens. As soon as one of your friends posts something and you have them on notification, you're going to open up your phone and instantly comment or like or do something like that. So I don't think it really matters if it was Allie or anything. I feel that Nick and Dustin will usually be one of the first to comment on each other's tweets. Dustin then replied saying, "Actually, I have take issue with her for a while, and furthermore, I literally only said imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. It's not rocket science, and she's clearly mimicking other people, and that's not going to help her. Not entirely sure how that's shade, but go off." And Dustin then replied saying, "Furthermore, I'm the one that assisted Allie with making better thumbnails to begin with. I told her to get Affinity, but then again, that's something else you don't know. Shall I keep going about how she was a vile to @itsAngelaXO. And here I will agree with Dustin, because Dustin was the person that actually helped me with my thumbnails and said, "Hey, maybe you should try this, you should get this program and try this with it and see how you like it." And he actually helped me step my thumbnail game up a bunch, so thank you, Dustin, for that. So not only has he done that for me, but he's also done that for Allie as well. He then continued by saying, "It's a tale as old as time. Know it all that don't know past what's on the surface." MaxBose then replied saying, "Don't you all copy each other when you're doing thumbnails, though? You were both clearly shading her, and this wasn't the first time, and instead of owning up to it, you always backpedal." Now this I will have to disagree with MaxBose on, because a lot of people take inspiration from other people's thumbnails and see what's working. And if you look through people's channels, you'll see that they've had thumbnail growth over time, and the thumbnails that they were doing when they started their channel aren't necessarily the same that they're doing now. And some people actually have done thumbnails in the past, switched it up, and have gone back to doing them again. It all honestly just comes down to what people are clicking on and what's working with the algorithm. And Dustin then replied saying, "Actually, we don't all copy each other. There's noticeable differences to how I make mine versus other people, and it's obvious when that's mimicked. I'm not going to argue with you considering you got snappy first, because it's not important to me, LMAO." And then he continued on by saying, "It's not shade if it's true either, just FYI. MaxBose then replied saying, "But if you helped her with helping to improve how her thumbnails look, that's not too crazy to think they look alike, right? If you would have said that instead of being shady, it would have been more valid. That's fair, LOL. I just hope you can both stop bringing her up while doing her own thing unless it's something valid and not trying to shade her." Dustin then replied by saying, "I would say if I was being shady. Nick's sentiment probably was, however. I literally said something that is said all the time. I could have been real shady, but it's not that deep." Oh man, did you hear that, Nick? Dustin's throwing you under the bus. MaxBose then replied saying, "Okay, that's cool, and indeed it's not that deep. Obviously we're not going to agree on this, but I did want to say I apologize for what I said about the Davi/Jeffree Star situation since I didn't see your video." Dustin then replied by saying, "Appreciated. I'm sorry for being myself." Aw, you guys, I think this is the first Twitter beef where I actually saw the two people who were fighting apologize to each other in the end. That's so nice. Alright you guys, but that is everything that I have for today's video, so I'd love to know what you guys think down in the comments below. Do you think that this is just absolutely completely blown out of proportion, or do you think that there's valid points that have been made? Let me know what you think down in the comments below. If you like this video, please make sure you go ahead and hit that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, I'd greatly appreciate it if you could hit the big red subscribe button and hit the bell icon and set your notifications to all so you'll be notified of every time that I upload a new video. Alright, that's everything for today, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!